You click to see which sandwich chain actually deserves your money. You're in the right place. We're ranking them worst to best. And we're starting with the brand that built an empire on a two-word promise that falls apart the second you bite the bread. If you've ever wondered why your fresh turkey looks identically oval every time, or why the veggies crunch like they took a road trip in a plastic bag, stay with me. By the end, you'll know what to skip, what's worth it, and how to spot the cheap tricks hiding in plain sight. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. Costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. You might want to finish this video before you finish your sub, because once you hear why that turkey is the exact same oval every time, you will spot it everywhere. Let's start with the promise. Eat fresh. Big posters, crisp lettuce, smiling athletes. The claim is freshness. The product is mass logistics. Chains build a national system that moves the same parts from giant plants to thousands of stores. The pitch is local. The food is not. What they don't tell you is that fresh often means pre-cooked, vacuum-sealed meats, bagged veggies, and par-baked bread finished in-store. Heat is used as a prop. A warm loaf distracts from what's inside and how long it sat before it got there. Now the bread. Par-baked dough gets half-cooked at a factory, frozen, then browned on site. That's why the bite is soft, uniform, a touch sweet, and a little gummy. Compresses like a sponge. Real crust fights back. Tears. Flakes. This stuff smushes into a pillow and never gives you a crackle. About the meat. Identical shapes are not an accident. Machine-formed logs get sliced into tidy ovals because they stack, they portion, and they look the same in every photo. Real deli turkey has ragged edges, a grain you can trace, and slices that are not all twins. Here, the sameness is the tell. It's like buying a fresh orange that was peeled, perfumed, and shrink-wrapped last week. Smells right, looks right, and then the bite is flat and weird. The show is there. The fruit is gone. Centralized distribution pushes shelf life first. Salt and sugar stabilize. Acids and binders keep texture in line. The goal is the same taste on every corner, and that means safe, predictable, middle-of-the-road flavor over anything risky or vivid. Consistency wins the boardroom. Peak flavor loses the road trip. Now the price trap. A low headline price hooks you, then extras nudge the total. Add bacon, add double meat, add a combo, and suddenly your deal costs like a real deli, except the quality flags, crust, meat, veg, still lag. So the fresh chain serving the most processed feel? It's the one leaning on doughy bread, bagged veg, and clone-cut meats. Once you know the tells, you can spot it in seconds. Now let's move on to a brand that once felt bold, until the toaster couldn't hide the sauce. Let's start with what worked. Ovens on, rivals looked cold. Toasted bread, melty cheese, bold sauces. Back then, that felt new. You got a hot sub with a little theater. Belts moved, cheese bubbled, bread came out spotted and crisp. But the real kicker was inconsistency. One shop dialed in the belt speed and time. Another shot your lunch through like a DVD in fast forward and called it done. You'd get scorched crust and a cold middle, or hot bread and chilled meat. Meanwhile, prices crept up, and the outcome felt like a coin flip. Then came the sauce trap. Sodium-heavy, mayo-forward dressings that blanket everything. Strong heat meets stronger sauce, and the meat vanishes under a salty, creamy fog. If the turkey was already mild, it turned to texture only. You tasted tang, fat, and smoke notes, not the protein you paid for. Here's the operational gap. That conveyor line looks simple. It is not. You need tight timing, training, and checks. Bread thickness changes the pass. Cheese melt needs one speed, steak another. When franchise support thins, standards drift. A few seconds off and quality slips. Across a big system, that becomes the story. Think of it like tuning a radio with a loose knob. You can hit the station, but any bump knocks it off. For a brand built on perfect toast, almost right still feels wrong. There's a case study here. Thousands of units down to a shadow. Not because hot subs stopped sounding good, but because the promise rested on flawless execution by every store, every rush, every day. Most missed. Guests paid a premium for novelty, got variability and fatigue. The truth is, toasted is a technique, not a shield. If the bread is doughy or the meat is mid, heat only makes it louder. Warmth boosts aromas, but it also magnifies flaws. Burned edges, watery veg, sauce as cover, which once dominant chain slid from about 5,000 stores to near extinction on quality slips and price pain. You know the profile now. The toaster couldn't carry the bill forever, and the bill came due. Now let's talk about who actually earns your money when you want real bite, clean builds, and consistent value. 3 promises compete for your dollar. Freaky fast, big and steamy, or sliced in front of you. You want the one that pays off twice, at the register and in your mouth. Let's start with the lineup. Jimmy John's chases speed. Firehouse pushes heat and heft. Jersey Mike's leans on craft you can see. Panera plays the premium cafe with clean label talk and nicer bread work. Convenience, quality, price. You can't max all 3. Each brand cranks one lever and hopes you ignore the trade-offs staring back at you. Jimmy John's runs on routine. The bread is consistent, soft, and shaped to move. Delivery is fast enough to beat your hunger clock. But the meats taste uniform and mild. You get tidy, predictable bites built for speed, not depth. The tight menu keeps the machine humming, but you trade flavor layers for sheer pace. Firehouse subs goes the other way. They steam the stack, so the fillings hit warm and the roll turns soft. Portion size is generous, and the texture feels plush. Flavors stay classic. Ham tastes like ham. Beef reads as beef without showy twists. You also pay more, which the brand offsets with feel-good giving that tags along with the receipt. Panera sells the setting. Better bread craft, a calm cafe vibe, menu boards that speak clean. The crust has actual bite, and the loaves don't squish like foam. But the meats are standard deli level. At $12 to $15 for modest builds, value slips even if the dining room looks the part. Jersey Mike's puts the work in front of you. They slice meat to order, drop it on soft sturdy rolls, and finish with oil and red wine vinegar instead of drowning the sandwich in mayo. Tomatoes aren't translucent. Lettuce still has crunch, and the acid lifts flavor instead of smothering it. Yes, it costs more than the speed shop, but the quality tracks the price. So here's the mini ranking. For pure speed, Jimmy John's. For portion and warmth, Firehouse. For bread-forward cafe time, Panera. For consistent taste with fresh prep cues, Jersey Mike's. If you want the best balance of real freshness signals and reliable flavor, go with the place shaving meat to order and hitting it with a clean oil vinegar finish. So what do you look for fast when you walk in? Let's build you a pocket checklist that beats the marketing in 10 seconds. You have 1 glance at the line and 2 seconds at the bread bin. Here's how to spot the traps without holding up anyone. We'll build a quick checklist you can run in your head while you order. Bread texture, meat shape, veg sheen, sauce strategy, and prep in front of you. 5 checks, 10 seconds. Chain stage fresh cues. Warm bread smell, shiny lettuce, tidy stacks of tomatoes. Looks great. The details tell the truth. You're looking for signals the store can't fake with a spray bottle and a timer. Start with the bread. Give it a light squeeze. Real crust fights back and shows tiny cracks. It has structure. Doughy bread compresses and bounces like a sponge. That rebound means par-baked or rushed. If the slice dents and stays, that is a red flag. Good bread keeps the roof of your mouth intact and doesn't weep when it meets sauce. Now the meat. Scan the slices. Perfect ovals and straight edges are machine form tells. You want uneven thickness and a grain you can follow. If they're slicing to order, that's a green flag. If the stack looks like copy and paste, you're paying for uniform, not flavor. On to veg. Matte beats glossy. Lettuce that gleams and looks wet was likely bagged and drained, not chopped today. Tomatoes that are all the same size and shine like they're waxed belong in a catalog, not your lunch. Ask how often they prep during the day. A real shop will have an answer that isn't in the morning. Sauce strategy gives the kitchen away. Heavy mayo and salty dressings can bury weak bread and mild meat. If the line leads with thick sauces, Dial it back. Ask for oil and vinegar. The acid lifts the build and lets you taste the base parts. If the sandwich falls flat without a blanket of mayo, that tells you plenty. Now value. Count protein, not just bread. A big roll with thin, rubbery meat is false value. You want a clear layer of protein that matches the price, not air and fluff. Run these checks and you can skip the staged fresh and buy the sandwich that actually earns the cost. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who still trusts the menu photos. Fresh is not a slogan. It's a set of signals you can spot fast. Crust that cracks instead of squishing, meat with ragged edges, not perfect ovals, a clean hit of oil and vinegar for balance, and veg that looks like it grew outside a bag. You can taste the difference in seconds. Like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets, and tell us which chain passed or failed. Your 10-second test this week. Next, we rank grocery deli counters with the same rules, and a few your supermarket would rather you didn't hear about. Bring that checklist. You'll need it.